just remind myself, like, I'm not failing because it's taking time. Like, progress doesn't always have to look a certain way, and it may take me longer to get there. It may not look like what I thought it will be, but that doesn't mean I'm a failure, actually. I want you to have that mindset too. This time of the year can bring a lot of pressure about where you're at in life, how you're doing with your goals that you set at the beginning of the year. Like, you look up and it's July and it's like, oh my God, there are only a couple months left in the year. Feel bad, or you're comparing your progress to someone else's. So I just want to get on here and quickly do a video about mid-year reflections and really just being kind to yourself and taking stock of where you are right now, even though you're not where you want to be. So the first thing I want to remind you guys that I definitely always have to remind myself is that it's okay to take breaks. I think a lot of times when we're setting goals or we're working on our goals, especially when we get to the midpoint of the year, it just feels like I need to keep going. I need to keep going. Like, it's almost the end of the year. I want to like be proud of myself at the end of the year. So you keep going and pushing until you burn out. So I want to remind you guys that it's okay to take breaks. And recently, that's something that I've really tried to sit in. I've not been very consistent. I will say at least the last few weeks, which might seem like a short time, but for me, who's been posting almost every day on my other platforms for at least the last 3 or 4 months, like even just taking 2-3 weeks off has felt like, oh my God, I'm so behind. Like, I'm never gonna grow if I don't post every day. And I had to remind myself that it's okay to take breaks and that I can't I can't give to you guys from an empty place, right? Like, I can't be creative, I can't be my best self if I feel drained and burdened and I don't feel excited to film and create content. So it's okay to take breaks. And I always try and remind myself, like, even when you look at people's careers, I can't think of anyone on top of my head, but there are people, like, whether athletes or like actors or whatever it is, business people, and you have the people who've maybe been working at something for years and years and years, and then you have someone who literally just started like 6 months ago and like shoots up so quickly. And we see that with social media a lot, right? Like, someone just gets one really viral video and all of a sudden they have more followers than the person who's been creating for 10 years. So that's actually helpful to me because I always tell myself, like, even if I don't post every single day, I could just make one video that just like blows up. And that's what happened with me on YouTube, actually, where I've been posting for close to a year pretty consistently. And then I randomly made a video about how shopping is starting to gross me out. And when I tell you, I got more subscribers way quicker than I'd ever gotten in the span of like 1 or 2 years. So that just reminded me, like, okay, like, it's okay to take breaks because you never know, you might have that one video, that one thing you do that just like shoots you up. But the overarching lesson is that you need to take care of yourself first, especially if you're in a creative space. So that's where I've been. So that's what I wanted to like start. So that's the first reminder that I wanted to have in this video, especially when, like I said, it's the midpoint of the year, is that it's okay to take breaks. Probably capitalism that makes us feel that when we're resting, it's like failure, or we feel like we need to like deserve, like we have to deserve getting rest. Like, okay, like I can rest, or I'll watch TV or take a nap if I do XXX today, right? Like, you give yourself like a list of tasks that you have to do before you allow yourself to rest. And like I say, rest is not supposed to be a reward. Like, it's actually a need. It's something your body needs. So stop using it as something that you do to reward yourself, please. Another thing that I've really been thinking about at the midpoint of the year is how important baby steps are. I think a lot of times when we set goals for ourselves, or we have this place that we want to be by a certain point of the year, it can seem like either a big goal, or you set it and you kind of forget about it and procrastinate because you haven't really set yourself up in a good place to reach that goal. So whatever it is, whether it's launching a business or losing like a certain amount of pounds or like doing a new hobby, whatever it is, you need to like sort of map out the baby steps that you need to do to get there. So for example, for me, I'm like, okay, like I want to get cast in like a film or a project or something like that. And then I sort of work my way backwards from there. What do I need to be able to get there? I need to audition. How can I get auditions? I need to make accounts on these websites where I submit for auditions. What else do I need to submit to auditions? I need headshots, which I actually just took my headshots, new headshots this morning, yay. But I need headshots. I need like demo clips of my acting. I need an acting resume, like sort of like backtrack from there. And that will help you like see the bigger picture of, okay, I set this goal for myself, but these are all the 100 things I need to do before I get there. And I want you to do this thing that I started doing that I think is a game changer, which is literally like doing one small baby step every single day. Because a lot of times it's hard to understand how we're going to end up where we want to be. But you don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about how exactly we're going to get to where we want to be, because you're never going to know. No one knows, has the blueprint. even if you talk to people who are where you want to be, they're going to tell you like, I don't know how I got here. Like it was luck. I just talked to this person. I knew this thing, or they just tell you a series of things happen and they got to where they want to be. So you're never going to have the full plan. So I just need you to like work your way back and then just like commit to doing one small thing every single day. So like I said, my overarching goal was being cast in a film or a project. And then I started counting those steps, right? One of those steps was to take headshots, take new headshots. So what am I going to do? Like, what are my little small steps from that, right? So maybe today I research headshot photographers, right? Maybe tomorrow I still research headshot photographers. And I'm like, every day I'm going to research until I find the photographer I like. And then once you find someone you like, your next baby step for the day will be, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to send an email. So that's your baby step for the day. And then when you respond, you're like, I'm going to confirm it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick my wardrobe. So literally just every day, just tell yourself, I'm going to do one thing that is in service of my goal. I need to ask yourself that. Like when you're watching this video right now, I want you to ask yourself, what have I done today? What's that one small step I've done in service of my overarching goal? And that way, when you get to the midpoint of the year, like July or like later in the year, even if you've necessarily not reached your goal yet, you know that, okay, every single day I did something towards my goal. I may not have reached it, but I know I did something every single day. I think what makes people get the like sort of end of year blues or things like that is when you kind of know that you procrastinated, or you were a little bit lazy, you didn't do as much as you thought you would. Sometimes you put your all in and it still doesn't work out, but I feel like deep down you tried, you gave your all, you gave your best. But I really feel like sometimes we feel down because it's like, dang, another year went by and I didn't do that thing I said I would do, or I said I was gonna lose some pounds, I didn't do it. I said I was gonna launch this business, I didn't even make a logo. So I think that's what makes us feel the blues, because we sort of let ourselves down. So don't let that be you. Don't let yourself down. Baby steps every single day. Another thing I've been thinking about midpoint of the year is doing things that feel good. I think especially since this year, I've been go, 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 go. I'm like trying to think of what do I need to do to feel good? So I know it's sort of it's not really counterproductive to my earlier point about working on your goals every single day, but it's like also doing things that make your life feel good. So if it's like, I like when I see my friends and hang out, you make sure that you prioritize that. Or I love to read a book before bed. Like maybe instead of editing all these videos or doing things like that, I make sure I end like 30 minutes earlier so that I have time to read my book. So it's about intentionally carving out space in your life for the things that you enjoy. That's really just it. Like, what do you enjoy doing? And why aren't you doing more of it? Like, what else can you cut back on so that you can do more of the things you enjoy? I think especially when you get to the midpoint of the year, I don't know how many times I want to say midpoint of the year, point of the year, it's very easy to like I just lost my train of thought. Okay, I just remembered it. When you get to the midpoint of the year, that's when you really realize like life goes by fast. Life is happening. Like it feels like we were all just saying Happy New Year, and now it's like the middle of summer, and before you know it, summer goes by like this, and then it's fall, like you're wearing your sweaters, it's Christmas, and then it's the end of the year, right? So I think for me, the midway point always reminds me how fast life goes. And I think this also goes my birthday. My birthday is literally the right at the turn of the second half of the year. So I'm June 30th. So it always just feels like it's a brand new beginning, because the next day is like July 1st. So it's like a new month is starting. It's a new quarter, Q3, and it's like officially the second half of the year starting. So I always feel so like just like connected to the earth, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what it's all about. But yeah, so at that point you do a lot of reflecting, and it's just like, I want to do things that make me feel good. So I want to encourage you guys, if you're at this point and you're still like not feeling super excited about your life right now, or you like, oh, I said I would do more of this that makes me happy and I haven't done it. This is sort of a reset check for you. I need you to reset and go out there and do more of the things that you like. Make more room for joy, make more room for creativity, make more room for the people that love you and that like give you life and you feel like encouraged and inspired by. Like, make room for all of that. Another thing that I've been thinking a lot about this time of the year is money, money, money. I'm thinking about what my long-term savings goals are. Like, how am I doing against those goals that I set for myself? What are ways I can make more money? How am I spending now? What areas do I need to cut back on? I'm just thinking a lot about money, I went through like my retirement accounts and like my savings accounts a couple of days ago, did like an audit just to get a sense of where I am. It'll surprise you how many people don't actually go through their accounts. Like, I know we'd be looking at our checking accounts pretty often, but a lot of people don't look through like savings accounts, or like if you use a high yield savings account, which is usually another like account separate from the one you look at every day. looking at that. If you have a 401k through your employer, like when last did you look at that? So it's just doing like a mid-year, like spring clean almost of your finances and seeing where you stand, seeing how you stack against savings goals you have. Is there ways that you can make more money? I've been thinking a lot about that. Like, how can I make more money? Stay tuned for that. So when you just keep in mind what you're saving towards or what you're working towards, it makes like sacrifices that you make right now more intentional, and it makes you remember like, okay, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm still staying in this job, because I need to like buy a house soon. So things like that help keep you motivated and encouraged as you're sacrificing right now. Something else I'm thinking about is how to stay encouraged and motivated and inspired like consistently throughout the year. And I know we'll always ebb and flow, but I think a lot of times when you're in the hustle and bustle of things, like those thoughts don't creep in, and then sometimes it just catches you. You have that moment where that thing whispers and it's like, you're not gonna make it, or this, what you're trying to do is really hard, or like other people are trying to do it at the same time as you and they're better than you, and you have all these thoughts. It's about trying to stay above that constantly. And I just remind myself, like, I'm not failing because it's taking time. Like, progress doesn't always have to look a certain way, and it may take me longer to get there. It may not look like what I thought it will be, but that doesn't mean I'm a failure, actually. And I want you to have that mindset too. Okay, I just moved closer to the window so I can get a little light to close this video, but I really hope this video was helpful for you as you think about your mid-year reset and you think about things to reflect on. And I also just wanted to share some of the things I was reflecting on and things that I was doing. And yeah, I'm rooting for you, lovelies, as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.